Hello there YouTube, it's Conspiracy Boy here with a teeny tiny car boot haul video. Normally this is the sort of size that I don't bother showing you guys, but I thought, hey, what the hell. So today I did relatively early, however I didn't actually go to two car boots, I only went to one. I normally go to one that's about a 45-minute drive away. Almost just doesn't seem it when the weather's bad. When you wake up, you know it's almost a wasted journey, and it ends up costing about a tenner in fuel getting there and back. So yeah, I just didn't bother with that one. I went to my local one. The local one last week had the better stuff, and there was a lady mentioned she may have more turtles. So I thought, in the hope of her actually being there again this week, it might be worth me just, going down and seeing if she was there. Unfortunately she wasn't, so yeah, that wasn't great, but still. So the thing I saw when I got there was 4 Spider-Man comics. They did look really old, and they looked like 1960s ones, but in good nick. So I asked them how much they were, and apparently they were £10 each. And this was just a regular car boot person. This wasn't like a reseller or trader. No, she wanted a tenner each. So I just thought, well, no, quite frankly. So off I went. Later on, when I went past, she also had a tie-dye kit, but it had a sticker on it from a shop that closed down about 15 years ago that I used to work in as a kid. So I just wanted the sticker, just the label off of it, really. So I asked her how much this tie-dye kit was, and told her that I used to work in that shop, and she had no clue what I was talking about. Anyway, she wanted £2.50 for the tie-dye kit, and when I looked inside, all the paint was used. There was no dye left in it. It was just the plastic pots the dye came in, and the woman was like, "It's all complete, you know." So all the dye's gone, and she was like, no, that's just colour it is. And it was just an empty, faded bottle. So yeah, didn't purchase empty bottles for £2.50. Did walk past like some husband and wife team that both had a stall at each. The wife had loads of clothes and the husband had next to nothing. It just seemed madness they didn't share a stall. Anyway, he had one box with some oddities in it, and I had a little rummage. I could only really look when he wasn't there. For some reason, like he wanted people to be rummaging when he wasn't there. So yeah, I ended up buying this off of him when he eventually got round to pulling it out of the box. It's a Mrs. Pac-Man plug-in game. It's definitely not too vintage or old school, but he only wanted 50p for it. It's about 11 years old, 2004 I think. Yeah, I'll have a look up, see if that was a good buy or not. Yeah, so that was 50p. Next thing I bought was this, that you might be able to see along the back here. This is actually a black light or a UV light sort of thing. You wanted £4 for that, and I seem to remember these being quite pricey to get. And the bulbs are quite expensive as well. So I thought, well, for £4, I'm sure I can take the gamble, can't I? So that was £4. I bought some DVDs that were 50p each. I bought 5 of those for £2.50, and they threw in this little girl that looks like she's from Playmobil, I would have thought. Some small Playmobil child. And just as I was leaving, they had these 2 micro machines. I do buy micro machines if they're cheap enough. Obviously sometimes people are just extortionate and want sort of 50p each, but yeah, I thought 5p each these were okay. And this one's quite cool because it's almost a mummy. Its eyes looking out. It's a bit battered for a micro machine, but even still. So that was quite cool, so got those. Got this was £1. They won't move on the price. Rayman 3 on the PlayStation 2. Don't know if it's going to show up. Maybe if I take it out of this. No, I don't think the camera's going to pick that up, is it? Well, this is actually a hologram. Depending on which way you look at it, this bit moves. Or maybe you have to go side to side. No, the camera's not picking that up at all. Well, it doesn't move a whole lot. You just see like his arms move back and forth, and this chain moving back and forth. Yeah, so it must be some sort of like limited edition holographic case. It just goes over the front of the regular cover there. So I thought, because I've never seen it with this holo case, maybe that was some sort of like rare version. It's probably not. It's probably worth nothing. But yeah, so I picked that up for £1. It was a bit foolish, didn't check, not got the manual. And the disc, again, you probably can't pick it up, but the disc is really scratched, really badly, so that might not even be salvageable. I got this Astro Boy wallet. Oh, see, that one does show up the holograph on it. 1 minute he's Astro Boy, and next it's just a logo. So yeah, Astro Boy there, sort of a bright colourful flash. Looks like it's a little wallet. A fold out wallet there. It's got a little spiel about him there. Astro Boy and was a robot. Well, fair enough. It still has its tag, which shows the value at 1,000 yen. So I don't think it's hugely expensive, but that was 50p there. Lady had 2 little pins. One of this Pokemon 2000 with a Rhydon in, but it's a little bit scuffed up in places, and this Independence Day badge. She had them in this little basket, loads of badges, and I was rummaging around. She said they were charity badges, and a lot of them were, but then you had these occasional ones dotted in, so I was seeing if there was any more. I could only find these 2, and there's a little sign saying charity badges, and I thought it said 25p, but in actual fact it said 20p each. So I pulled 2 out, and I was like, how much are your badges? I've just taken them out of the 25p pot. And she was like, oh, that was normally that was a 20p each. So I was like, oh, brilliant. And she said, but you can have them for 25. And I was like, well, no, you know, they're in the 20p pot. I'll take them for 20p. So I tried getting out 20p, and she was like, no, 25p. You were prepared to pay 25p. I just thought, oh, damn it. And then there was another lady. I mean, I wasn't too upset about 10p, so I was still like, yeah, you know, have the 10p, love. I'm not going to argue with you over 10p. But there was someone else who I saw, and I asked her how much her CDs were. Oh, they're £1 each. So I pulled one out, and she went, no, not that one. That one's £2 actually. And you just think, right. So I said to her, how much are your comic books? And she said, all of the comics are £1.50. And I went, okay, fair enough. Didn't buy any of that stuff. Went round the corner, found a guy with loads of 2000 AD comics, like loads of them, and a load of Action Force comics underneath as well, just this big box full of them. And right on the top there was like some sort of band from the 70s autograph, so I thought, well, it's probably going to be more hassle to try and deal with all these bloody comics than it's worth, but I could pick one of them up and accidentally pick up this autograph thing as well. And you know, see if he'll sell it to me for like 20p or 50p or something. So I picked up one of the 2000 AD comics, and I was like trying to get its attention, but he was chatting away to someone. Anyway, eventually turns around, and I was like, oh, hello mate, how much are your comics? And he went, oh, the comics? If you want them, mate, you can have that whole box for 15 quid. And I was like, well, I don't really want them, I just want this one. He was like, oh, I've gone through and picked out the rare one, is it? And I went, no, this was just the one on the top, mate. This was literally just one off the top. I just would like one comic, please. And he was like, nah, I'm not here dealing with 50p's and whatnot. If you want one comic, it's £1. Or if you want all of them, it's like 15 quid. In the box, there must have been like 150 of them. So he was being a bit of a knob, so I just went, no, forget it, chuck it back. And the few traders that were out there were I had like one that has been nice to me recently. I got some games from last week, had a sign up saying wanted, Lego, Star Wars toys, basically anything you can think of that you could resell for good money he was begging for. And then quite late in the game, some fella turned up and he just had Playmobil, just bags and bags of Playmobil, and he was just getting swarmed by people, and people buying bucket loads of it. When I went over there, he had like a knight's castle sort of set with a dragon that he only wanted a tenner for, but it did look pretty incomplete. And there was someone talking to him saying, "Oh, you definitely make your money on eBay with those things," and he was like, "Yeah, that's where we bought them all from. I just can't be bothered to relist them." And I just thought, well, I can't be bothered either. So I tried looking at his prices, and the only thing he didn't have marked up was this random bag here. Everything that's left in the bag is pretty much trash, I think. I don't think you'd find any use for it in the world of Playmobil. Maybe a flag or a flipper or something, but most of it was nonsense. Did have this little Lego Boba Fett hat in there, and a little Lego Star Wars blaster too. It had these two Playmobil figures in. This one looks in relatively good nick, but someone's actually drawn on his face with pen as if he needed a bigger beard. And this one looks like he's part of the bomb squad or a scuba diver or something, but filthy dirty, so they're probably pretty trashy too. And you had this weird basket, little Playmobil basket that might be salvageable in some kind, and a very little Playmobil stool with odd things like a little snake and a little lamp, and then some sort of racing trophy and a sort of light fixture fitting thing. It had all of these guns and weapons here. Let's see if I get these on camera without smashing them everywhere. I've already dropped two. All of these guns, there's loads of little Playmobil guns and like swords in holsters. You've got shotguns, and I don't know, maybe I can just sell it as like a sort of accessory bundle. In fact, there's two snakes. I thought there was only one snake. Two snakes. Very cool. Yes, there's loads of these guns. Some of them look more like pirate guns, and then some of them look more like, that's a Cowboys in Indian one there. Yeah, so there's all sorts of just little bits, and I might be able to sell them for more than £1. And it had these 3 figures in it. These are probably only 3 figures that were quite decent. There was this skeleton dude who's marked like 1996 or 94 or 98 on his foot. Can't remember which now. Can't even see in this light either. You had this like riot police dude. There was also this bazooka in there, so I just stuck the bazooka with him, even though it definitely didn't go. And then there's this sort of like scuba diver dude. So yeah, I bought that whole bag for £1, but again, most of it was trash. I just didn't really enjoy being at the Bootsale today. Everyone was just rude or in the way, or just generally not friendly. Everyone wanted stupid prices for things, except very few people who just had like rubbish. Yeah, I mean, even the staff that run it, like, I go there all year, and there's always this really old fella that works there who's always like, "God bless, look after yourself, son." And so I'm always like, "Thank you, sir, thank you, young man, bless you too," and all this sort of stuff. And even this week he was like, "Where are you going?" And it's like, "To the car park," and he was like, "Not through there, round the corner." And there's like 2 entries into the same car park, and he was just telling some people like, "Oh no, you can't park down there," and then other people he was just not giving. Yeah, so I just didn't enjoy the car boot sale, and by the time it was over there was a toy fair, which again is a bit of a drive away, but I never really pick anything up from the toy fair. I just tend to go, spend my entry fee, walk around, and then leave empty handed. So yeah, I just thought, sod it, I'm not even going to go to that either. So yeah, I just did 1 car boot sale, and it was pretty pants. Blacklight, little bits of Playmobil, a couple of micro machines, and 1 or 2 little retro gaming things. So almost not worth getting out of bed for this time of year. Anyone who feels they're missing out on that there's not car boot sales going, trust me, the ones that are, it's not worth your time. So anyway, that's this week's car boot extravaganza. Stay tuned. Next week, hopefully, will be better. You never know. Maybe the weekend before Christmas, loads of people will bring out the goodies. Or not. We'll see. So, until next week, guys, Conspiracy Boy signing off. Bye bye.